Hey folks, it's Jim. Welcome to the 23rd day of my writing challenge. It's Wednesday night. Things are wrapping up for the evening. I just wanted to show you my status real quick and then talk a little bit about outlining. So you can see I did one more sprint tonight, 1,500 words, 8,200 or 82,000 and change for the challenge so far. So we're still creeping toward that end point. I'm down to 7,300 to go. So looking at 2 days of writing, if I can get those last 6 sprints in here, and if you look at the outline, you'll see that I am down to 6 chapters left to write, 5 down here and then 1 right there. Look at the cork board. You'll see I've got just these 5 here to write and then 1 more right there. So getting real close here. These are going to be filler chapters for the 2 that I moved to book 2. So I think I probably need a couple of supporting character scenes because there's a huge chunk of the book, like right here from this chapter all the way down here. This is a big chunk of the book that's all from Rachel's point of view, main character's point of view. That'll probably break up just a little bit with a couple of Malcolm scenes just to keep him as a touchstone through the book. The most important thing that I thought I'd share with you today is that I've actually had some time to go through and reread the first 20 chapters or so, and so I went ahead and filled in brief summaries of every single scene and chapter that happened. So now, looking at this corkboard, I can see at a glance absolutely everything that happens in the book up to this point, including the scenes I'm going to plug in, 2 scenes that still need to be plugged in, and then finishing this up. This is the scene I wrote tonight, and then I know that needs to continue, so that I'm going to write another scene tomorrow. So 4 scenes for sure, 2 more probables, and then there's some notes I've added into the cards that I need. Like I'm going to probably rewrite chapter 18. I need to add more stuff to some chapters, but now for the first time, pretty much since the beginning of the writing process, I can see the entire book at a glance in one corkboard. And the way I can do this is I can split this up into 2 screenshots and then print those 2 screenshots out and then just study the 60 cards I've got here and start rearranging. I've moved some cards around, like these 5 cards down here of course will get moved once I know where to plug them in. And then I've also started to renumber the chapters, so working backwards I got up to 45, so from 45 to 60 this is pretty much the flow of the book. The first, I think, 18 chapters are pretty close to being numbered, although there's some changes that will happen in here. Like I know that chapter will move somewhere else. But for the most part, this was a huge day for me. Even though I only got 1 writing sprint done, I got all these cards filled in, so that was really an important point of the process, because I feel like the slowness of these last couple days has been due partly because I wasn't entirely sure what had happened, and I was kind of writing into the dark a little bit on these last couple scenes because I knew there were scenes I wanted to write. I just didn't quite know where they fit in, so I needed to kind of get a sense of what already existed so I could get the new scenes written to be the kind of the connective tissue between one scene and another scene. So now that I've got that in place, oh, and just so for the purposes of discussion, this outline is usually what I start with before I start writing. So usually I have an outline that has all these little sentences or paragraphs written in for each chapter, and then I'll start writing. So I'm doing this one kind of bass-ackwards here a little bit, but you know what? It's a learning process. This is the first book I've written using Libby Hawker's Take Off Your Pants as a foundational basis. Remember back in the earlier videos I talked about using her steps to build an outline. So this is the first time I've really used that structure seriously to build something, and so this was kind of a cobbled together approach, and I think having gone through it, I think it'll make book 2 and 3 stronger because I'll have a better sense of what to do before I start writing. So I'll be working on a more detailed outline before I actually start writing the manuscript, not counting the 2 chapters that I've already written. so that's pretty much it for tonight. I think it was a good progress, even though I only got one sprint in. Again, my hourly count is creeping up, even as my daily count is creeping down. But we're still well over 3,000 a day. And like I said, we're closing in on the very end here. This is probably going to be Friday. Will be the day I finish it, so probably the 25th. And that'll still give me all of next week to edit and revise, and then to start turning some of these in progress codes to complete. And then hopefully by the 31st, they'll all say complete, and then we'll go on to book 2. And we'll send this off to an editor, and we'll continue to get the cover art completed. And then before you know it, there'll be a new book on the shelves. So that'll be fun to look forward to. But in the meantime, that's it for tonight. So I hope you had a good Wednesday, and I hope you have happy writing time. Good night.